1991 Labatt Canada Cup.
The smartest thing any family can do.
CTV's coverage of the 1991 Labatt Canada Cup is brought to you in part by your local bottlers of Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the real thing.
We are all set to go. Game 3 for both these teams in the Canada Cup. Bill Ranford's in goal for Canada, and in goal for Sweden is Tommy Soderstrom. Puck slides inside the Canadian blue line. Ranford out to meet it. Tocchet with Smith, and Steve Smith will circle it behind his own net as Team Canada forms up for the first time. Al McInnes with it at center ice. Drives it down. Soderstrom down at his crease to hang on.
Don, the Canadian team start a very belligerent line against the Swedish best line. That may be a matchup to watch for. Tommy Soderstrom starts for Team Sweden. If you remember the play of Kelly Lindberg, the former Flyer great, his style is similar, and of course Bill Ranford comes back once again for Team Canada. He is undefeated. He has played very well in his 2 starts.
Sweden has 15 players with NHL connections. And that's more professional experience than they could muster for the World Championships, which they won in upset fashion back in the spring.
Look at this line on the ice for Team Canada. Corson, Messier, Tocchet. There's some belligerence there.
Here's McInnes. His shot from the point just goes wide. Into the Swedish corner. Mats Naslund, ex-Montreal Canadian, back in there, getting some help from Lidstrom, number 4. Team Canada forechecking well in there. They come away with some muscle in the zone. Across for Smith, the defenseman all the way in on goal. Now Shane Corson centers it out. Nobody home, and for Sweden, Mats Sundin, Quebec's number 1 draft choice a year ago, brings it down the ice for Sweden. Team Canada changing on the go. Headman pass to Gretzky. Drops it off for Steve Larmer. Larmer going in left side. 2 Swedish players cover him, but he makes a centering pass. Sweden intercepts, and they're back in the neutral zone. They bring it ahead now to the blue line of Canada. Borje Salming with a weak shot. The now 40-year-old former Toronto Maple Leaf defenseman. Big Lindros is on the ice, and he lets the shot go. And it's a weak one wide. Back at the point, held in by Desjardins. And poked free by Sweden. Salming getting it down to Paul Coffey of Team Canada. They played a minute and a half. Sweden has won Canada Cup victory over Team Canada. That in '84. Coffey's shot is blocked. It is on the stick of Thomas Steen of the Winnipeg Jets. A rink-wide pass, left side. Across the blue line they come. In front, here's a great scoring chance. Ranford down to Rob Sandstrom. Point-blank range, the rebound. Lindros is taken down, and it comes back out over the line for Steen of Sweden. Ranford saving it for Desjardins. Lindros taken down at center ice. Number 21 for Team Canada, Brent Sutter. The referee is Dennis LaRue of the United States, an American and Finnish lineman working with him. In the corner, Sutter bumping in there with Sweden's Garpenlov. Garpenlov behind the net. He's bodied, trying to get the centering pass. Sutter comes to help out, as does Bergqvist for Sweden. This is Berglund. Berglund watched by Murphy. Bergqvist gets a centering pass out. Then they lob it off the glass high in the corner. Murphy for Team Canada. Little flurry of dynamo against the United States on Monday, and Hamilton is on the ice. Graham with a check on the boards, and Sweden keeps the pressure on. Coming up on 3 minutes of brisk opening period action here. It is scoreless. Off the mesh, back of the net, taking a spill is Garpenlov, and we're going to have the first penalty of the day. Referee Dennis LaRue. And Team Canada will be a man short. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Up to you.
Little Theo Fleury's in the penalty box. A 2-minute hooking penalty for Canada, just shy of the 3-minute mark.
The Swedes were forcing to the left side of the goaltender. You see Fleury with a stick in the legs of Garpenlov. The Swedes were pressing, Don. There's been 3 shifts. The first shift, the Canadian team, led by Messier, had a strong shift. The last 2, the Swedes controlled the play. Now the Swedes go on the power play.
Salming keeps it in play for Berglund down the near boards. Back to Borje Salming. Cross on the far side of the ice. Sweden taking time to work the power play. Lidstrom with it down to the far side. Back to Salming, right point. Salming a bad pass for Lidstrom, and they have to regroup.
Team Sweden 1 for 7 on their power play over their first 2 games. A goal by Kjell Samuelsson. And this has been something that's missing for the Swedes so far, has been their play on the power play.
Lidstrom tried to set up the dangerous Mats Sundin. Instead it slides to Rundqvist against McInnes. 45 seconds gone, and Fleury's penalty for Canada. There's Rundqvist setting it up. Oh, a great scoring chance right in front. And Mats Sundin was unable to get a good shot away at close range. Gretzky is on the ice now. Along with the muscle of Messier. Sweet changing on the go. Long lead pass too far for Gretzky. 49 seconds left in the penalty, but here's a chance at a goal. Driven in by Steve Larmer.
The bench on a line change. Wayne Gretzky did the work in the corner. What a pass. What a marvelous pass. Gretzky there catches the puck, puts it in front, and Larmer just steps into it. First shot on goal. Pardon me, the third shot on goal by Team Canada. Larmer, who leads the team with shots in this tournament, just stepped into it. Skated into a beautiful sliding pass with the screen set. Larmer just blasted it. The second shorthanded goal Team Canada has in this tournament.
Larmer one times it, and Canada's got a quick lead, scoring while shorthanded. Still 30 seconds plus to go on the penalty. Here's a shot from Johansson, deflected wide. Over on the far boards is Alf Samuelsson of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Thomas Steen feeds it back to him. Across to Calle Johansson. That shot turned down in front. Larmer will feed it up the boards for Gretzky. Gretzky one-on-one going in. Coffey trailing. Coffey waits for the pass, gets it, and scores! 2-0 Team Canada.
Gretzky had to wait for the puck. While this happens, Paul Coffey is striding into the play. Look at this pass. We've talked about it now for 2 straight games. Look at this pass. He'll elevate it right over the stick, sit it down flat so Coffey can redirect it. And when the leaders do their job early in games, and when your leader is the best player, Wayne Gretzky's getting it done here. Wow, 2 great passes and finishing plays, both shorthanded.
And only now is Fleury getting set to step back on the ice. Maybe Team Canada might consider leaving a man in there the way they're going. A 2-0 lead on shorthanded goals. Murphy now for Tocchet. Forechecking keeps it in for Sweden. Little Fleury bumping in there with Bergqvist of Sweden. Bergqvist forechecking on the near boards. Shanahan has it. His rink wide pass to Murphy. Murphy brings it forward now inside the blue line of Sweden. In front, there's a shot by Shanahan, just drifting wide. Almost 3-0 right there. A crunching check in the corner as play goes down to the Team Canada zone. Icing has been waved off. They change in the go.
Don, that was Lindros hitting the Swedish team's biggest player, Kjell Samuelsson, and he pasted him.
Shanahan with Lindros. They skate inside the blue line again. Here's Courtnall hovering, but it comes back to the Team Canada into the ice. 6 minutes of fast-paced action with Team Canada getting a big jump at 2-0 on a pair of shorthanded goals. They didn't give Soderstrom much of a chance on either, thanks to the playmaking of Wayne Gretzky. Now for Sweden. Nicholas Andersson brings it down. He has got Lars Edstrom with him over on the far corner. Courtnall intercepts. Digs it free for Luc Robitaille of the Los Angeles Kings. And as Team Canada changes, he shoots it down to the zone. Andersson, as the Swedish player fell, they have to regroup now. Salming playing it up on the left side. Sweden changing as they move, looking quite disorganized now. Back on their heels. Gretzky, it's given to him. Here's the pass for Larmer, and Larmer got tied up by Thomas Rundqvist. Couldn't get a shot away.
Sweden had a dreadful line change. Could have been caught with too many men on the ice, and Team Canada is just starting to roll here.
Mats Naslund brings it forward now. Sundin taken down. Nasta tries to make the play. Dumps it in behind for Ulf Samuelsson. McInnes for Canada. Al McInnes, strong in this tournament, is turned back on this occasion by the former Montreal Canadian Naslund. Now Steve Smith. Past the 7-minute mark. Team Canada dominating. Calle Johansson playing it ahead. Naslund taken down by Smith, and it's cleared out to Gretzky. Gretzky with Graham. Feeds Graham. Graham going and scores! 3-0.
Starts all this by using a swarming defense. This guy has seen nothing but point blankers and goals so far for Team Sweden. Team Canada has Gretzky on a roll. Look at this pass. Good by through the middle. Dirk Graham doesn't even have to slow down to gather the puck. He just speeds up. Look at Gretzky sit the puck right in front. There goes Graham. Handles it nicely. Finds the hole. 3-0 Canada. Dawn has started back in the Canadian zone. The Canadians' defense was swarming all over Naslund, all over Sundin. Turned the puck over and away they went.
What a show Gretzky and company are putting on tonight. 99 has set up all 3 goals in picture fashion, and Team Canada leads 3-0. Not yet are we to the 8-minute mark of period 1. Wave after wave of white and red sweaters in on Thomas Soderstrom. Sandstrom on the near boards is tied up. Steen tries to get it back to him. Sweden doing some forechecking here. They'll have to open up and gamble now, I would think, down by 3. Maybe break out of their normal shell. Here's an attempt at the centering pass by Elf Dallin.
Don, the Swedish team started quickly. But Ranford made 3 great saves early, but all of a sudden Wayne Gretzky took over.
This is Sandstrom shooting, and a sliding Coffey blocks that. Ranford gets a piece of the rebound. Here's a shot. Ranford stops that with a stick, and Team Canada takes over. 8.5 minutes in, 3-0 for Canada over Sweden. Canada changing on the go as the puck slides back to the Swedish corner. Salming taken down by Lindros. It comes across to Tocchet. He'll dig in the corner against number 4 Lidstrom. Down he goes. Tocchet up and after it. Johan Garpenlov can't control it. High shot. Soderstrom blocks that. Salming volleys it across to the corner. This is Tocchet. Falling, taken down in confrontation with Garpenlov. There'll be a penalty here, and it's called against Sweden. Salming will get the gate, and a Team Canada power play will come. This is the Labatt.
In the tournament make that Gretzky has been on the ice for 3 or 4 of them, as has Lindros and Larmer. Al McInnes has been on the ice for all 4 Canadian power play goals.
Harachuk wins the draw, gets it to Fleury. Searching for Smith, finds him left point. Steve Smith setting that back to Little Fleury. Smith again as they play catch back and forth, and it's 1 too many over the line.
Team Canada going with 4 forwards here, including Fleury back on the point for the power play.
Harachuk to Gretzky down the right boards. For Robitaille, couldn't find him in front, and Sweden manages to clear. Garpenlov shooting it down the ice. He'll skate to the bench on a change as Fleury resets for Team Canada. And ahead they come, approaching the halfway mark of the first period, ahead 3-0. Fleury banks one down the boards for Harachuk in the corner. Slides it across. Soderstrom couldn't contain that. Robitaille is taken down. Harachuk feeds Gretzky. Now Smith. Smith setting. Here's the pass, the deflection. Robitaille with the side of the goal. Almost tipped that one in. Gretzky makes his centering pass. Out it comes to Fleury. Back to the great one. Gretzky tries to make something happen off a skate and get a redirection, but gets a second chance now. Gretzky's figured it all 3 goals. Oh, and Smith right there at a glorious chance as Gretzky fed him beautifully. Harachuk sliding. Canada swarming on this power play. Sweden unable to contain them. Fleury with it. Past Gretzky. Now Sweden will take some pressure off at last.
Just sit back, watch, and enjoy it. Wayne Gretzky is putting on a spectacular show of handling the puck, finding open men, taking shots. He's doing it all.
Messier, as Gretzky's on the bench, finally for a rest, brings it in. For Smith, deflected out across the blue line. 20 seconds remain in Salming's penalty. It's been a furious assault by Team Canada. 10 seconds the penalty as Lindros reaches center ice, but no further. Thomas Sandstrom for Sweden has it. Sweden ragging the puck back and forth. Will clear it now with a second to go, and back on the ice steps Salming to the bench. And Sweden's on even terms, but down by 3. 11 minutes gone in period 1 here in Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Kalle Johansson down the far boards for Sweden. They can't clear it. Here's McInnes's blast. A rolling puck. It's loose for Larmer. He couldn't get Wood on it at point-blank range. Team Canada has outshot Sweden 9-4. It seems like much more than that. They've outplayed them by a wider margin. Kalle Johansson leaves it there as Sweden looking very disorganized now, feeding Sandstrom. His quick shot goes wide. McInnes leaves it in behind his own net.
Don,
There'll be a penalty.
To Al McInnes, it's a reaction on a Thomas Sandstrom play. Sandstrom will try and drive you nuts and make you take penalties. Canadians have to watch.
This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. McInnes off for roughing. The time's 11:46.
It's a 3-0 game. Sandstrom slashed, and then a late hit on Al McInnes. And you see how McInnes reacts. Thomas Sandstrom will do his best when it's a 3-0 lead for the other team to draw penalties. He's smart, and he drives you nuts. And if you allow him to do it, you'll be in the penalty box, and that's something to be very aware of.
So a roundhouse right cost him a couple of minutes, and Team Sweden can certainly use the manpower advantage. Down by 3, 8:14 to go in the opening period. Dirk Graham will blast it, and he does successfully all the way down the ice here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Kalle Johansson of the Washington Capitals trying to clear. Samuelsson will take over. Feeds it ahead at center ice. Down on the right side for Kalle Johansson. Round to the far corner in the Team Canada zone. Skating forward is Ulf Dahlin. Sweden getting a chance to get something going on the power play now. Johansson. Losing it. Here is Sutter, and he clears.
Canada has done very well against the boards to this point, knocking the other team off the puck to control it.
And they steal it again. Russ Corkle is on a quick shot. Corson couldn't get the rebound. Alf Samuelsson in behind the Swedish goal. Corson, the good skater, gets there first. Steen battles with him. Corson going down. The puck is under him. They try to poke it free, and they get it free, but the whistle sounds in the meantime.
Great way to kill a penalty in the offensive zone. Shane Corson knocks time off the clock and gets it done. Don, when Wayne Gretzky's on the ice and he's on a power play, he's the guy behind the net with a puck. Watch all the dark jerseys all turn and watch Wayne Gretzky towards the back end. And when that happens, Steve Smith can move right in. Wayne Gretzky will get the puck. He'll be back behind on the side. Everybody there watches Gretzky. In comes Smith. Missed the open net. But Gretzky tends to do that. Whenever you scout a team that has Wayne Gretzky on it, you talk about what to do when Gretzky has the puck deep.
Well, that was a few minutes ago, and it was almost a 4-0 hockey game, just that close. It is 3-0, 7 minutes to play. Team Canada, in every aspect, dominating tonight, even when they are shorthanded. As they are right now, with 38 seconds left in the penalty to Al McInnes. Sweden coming inside the blue line. Dropped off for Ulf Dahlin. Now this is Samuelsson. Samuelsson shot off a post. Comes down to the corner for Murphy. Murphy leaving it in behind for Scott Stevens. Cornell helping out. Stevens gets turned around. Sweden takes over. And Team Canada clears. A very disorganized power play. Just 2 seconds left now in the sentence to McInnes. He steps back on. Team Canada back at even strength with Team Sweden. Desjardins in the corner. This is Coffey. He's being handed by Anderson. Sweden works it ahead now. This is Forslund. Forslund's quick shot. Ranford hangs on to that. It remains 3-0 with 5:55 to go in the period. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Don Chevrier along with John Davidson back with you at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, where Sweden has been rocked by a Gretzky-led outburst by Team Canada here in the first period for a 3-0 Canadian lead. The line of Michael Anderson, Lars Edstrom, and Thomas Forslund on the ice for Sweden. This is Desjardins for the Canadians. Working quickly to Messier out of the zone. He's got Larmer on the right. In behind Larmer, offside, is the pass to the blue line.
Steve Larmer today was at Maple Leaf Gardens at 3:30 this afternoon for an 8 o'clock game. That's pretty early. He's an individual who does not like to sleep the day of the game in the hotel room. He says if he does sleep in the afternoon the day of a game, he'll be loggy when the game starts. So he decides, instead of laying around in a hotel room, he gets up, goes down to the arena, prepares his equipment and his mind to get ready. And obviously he's been ready for this one.
Coffey rolls it in to Lidstrom of Sweden. But 5.5 minutes to go in a bristling first period here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you might be across the CTV television network tonight. They bunch in behind Bill Ranford and Canada's goal. It is dug free by Sweden's Edstrom. Trying to get some help now from Thomas Forslund. Messier strong arms him, tries to get it to Larmer, kept in. Here's the shot by Anderson and a good save by Billy Ranford. Still 3-0 Canada. This is the Labatt. Conceivable that the Soviet Union and the Czechs might miss the final round, the semifinals, the way this crazy Canada Cup is going here in 1991. They're in a big hole against the U.S. tonight, as the Swedes are here. Here's Smith now, eluding Bergquist as he brings it out to center ice for Canada. Slipping in offside, he couldn't control himself, was Brent Sutter.
Don, Canada must have won at least 75, maybe 80% of the faceoffs here in the first period. It's something the Swedes, as a team, don't work on very hard. Pat Burns ran practice yesterday afternoon, looked to be very involved.
Face-off just outside Sweden's blue line. 5 minutes to play in the opening period. Canada on top by 3. Sutter on the face-off. Lundqvist for Sweden. Wins the draw, but it's to McInnes. Back at the Canadian blue line now to Smith. Smith falling, but sends it down the left side. Robitaille forechecking for the Canadians. Samuelsson against him as they push and shove in that Swedish corner. Got a few seconds ticking off the clock while they play shinny up and down the near boards. Now Samuelsson has it over on the far side. An aimless pass ends up in the stick of McInnes for Robitaille. He redirects it through and back to the Swedish corner.
That's what the Swedes don't want. They don't want the puck dumped like that, the defenseman having to face a hit from a player like Tocchet. It becomes punishing after a while.
Sundin of the Nordique with it. He's dangerous. He shoots, and Ranford smothers it, preventing a rebound to Naslund. 3-0 Team Canada. This for Toronto is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Bill Ranford has stopped 7 shots in this first period. All 7 have been tough ones. Bill Ranford reads plays well. Watch him drop down here before he gets the shot, reading that it's going to be a low shot through a screen of Dale Howard, Chuck. Ranford read it perfectly, made another fine save.
Starting his 3rd straight game, gave up 2 to Finland first time around, and then 3 to the United States. The Canadians got their first win in Hamilton. Here's a shot from the point. Ranford locates that and smothers it once again. The blast from Samuelsson. The Labatt's Blue player of the game for Team Sweden receives the...
And did get a shot. Actually didn't win it. Howard Jock won it, but the puck was rolling and got away from Scott Stevens. Now here Thomas Sandstrom has to take the draw for the Swedes. And he gets tossed. So Dahlin will step in now.
He'll try his hand against Howard-Chuck with 4 minutes and 3 seconds to play in the first period. And Canada wins that one as well. Stevens slides it ahead for Graham. On the left, he couldn't get the pass to Shanahan, just outside the Swedish blue line. They bump in the center ice area. Now Shanahan tries to pass it rink wide. That's broken up by Sandstrom. Dahlin with him as they come inside the Canadian blue line. And Dahlin takes the spill as the puck is cleared. minutes to go. Murphy will chase it back in his corner. Dahlin forechecking, ready for a change. Sweden trying to make their change on the fly. And now here's Murphy. Lindros. Messier couldn't get it. Bodies Salming. Heavy collision down there in the corner. Sweden coming away with it. Thomas Sandstrom eager for a change. Blasts the puck first. Right on Ranford. Now Coffey. He'll play it in behind. It gets through Soderstrom. Little Fleury with a check, and he wins the puck. Now being hounded from behind by Salming. In the corner, Messier's there to help. An elbow from Salming to Fleury goes undetected by the referee. And away comes Garpenlov for Sweden. 3-on-2, they reach the line. The Fleury's back checking helps out. Here's Garpenlov shooting. That's deflected up and over the glass. 2:34 to go in the first period. 3-0 for Canada. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. On July with little Theo Fleury of Canada.
Here's Sandstrom and Stevens going at it. Watch Sandstrom give Stevens a facial and pull his helmet off. And Stevens has to remember, you don't want to get beat one-on-one in these situations, but you don't want to end up in the penalty box with a lead. Now on the ice at the same time with Theo Fleury. This is a 3-on-2 against Canada, but Fleury catches up and breaks the play up, or at least helps break it up with a nice job back checking. Fleury hustled at both ends of the ice. A strong shift.
2 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in play in the first period as Canada has quickly built a 3-0 lead. Fashioned on the playmaking and the mastery of Wayne Gretzky. Larmer, Coffey, and Graham have scored the goals. 2 of them came shorthanded. Samuelson now from the point lets the shot go. Didn't penetrate the screen. They try to glove it to Larmer unsuccessfully. Sweden maintains possession. Garpenlov down there. Chasing it for Sweden is Bergqvist. Team Canada brings it back. Smith lobbing it to the blue line. Oh, Samuelson has it there. Speeding it ahead for Bergqvist. Now Larmer with it for Canada. McInnes. Corson and Gretzky with him. McInnes trying to go in low. Can't get around. Off Samuelson is taken down.
You know, it seems like you never get tired of watching Wayne Gretzky play hockey, and he's put on a clinic here. Saturday mornings, he'll be on television in cartoon form.
It had to happen.
Yeah, you're right. Along with Michael Jackson and Michael Jordan, pardon me, and Bo Jackson, Wayne Gretzky will be a cartoon Saturday mornings. It's a Michael Barnett creation called Pro Stars. And it's 3 boys, and they have a sister. And they're putting together a cartoon revolving around morals of young children and about going through different things, good and bad, and what to do. I guess it's pretty good. It had to happen. You're right, Don.
Hard to believe that Team Canada has outshot Sweden just by 1, 10-9.
You know, all 3 of Canada's goals have originated on plays along the boards. And it's an area that Team Canada built their team to do, to be strong along the boards.
Robitaille feeding Murphy, and his shot is redirected off to the Swedish corner. Now Sweden bringing it forward. Naslund ring wide, but intercepted and poked away. A minute and a half to go in the opening period. Stevens leaves it for Luc Robitaille. He'll use the boards to pound it inside the blue line. Samuelson shells Samuelson ahead for Robitaille. Some of the earlier intensity displayed by Team Canada maybe absent at the present time. Naslund. Brings it inside the line. Orko watching him. Naslund swings around the net, looks to make his centering pass with now a minute to play in the first period. Back on the left side. Here's Lidstrom's shot. That's taken off to the near corner. Sweden putting some pressure on. Now Ranford goes down, has to smother that. He lost the puck just for a moment.
Good defensive coverage by Team Canada, allowing Bill Ranford to hang on. At the other end, this is something I've never seen before. First of all, the size of the cage of the goaltender. He could use that in the offseason to house his parrot if he has one. Look at the size of that thing. His catching glove, he could use that thing to net salmon, I think. I've never seen a goaltender with a glove that big. And Don, the goal stick, the blade, there's no tape on it. And a couple of times the puck has hit the blade of his stick and has spun away. Tape on that goal stick will pad the puck when it hits it. And he's very superstitious. You saw him there on the inside of the goal net. He'll do that a lot during the game.
He moves right in, doesn't he, like he lives there. Now he comes back to the crease as play picks up. 40 seconds to go. Cornwell against Salming. Salming drives it around the boards. Now Thomas Steen has it. Steen with Salming. Drops it off to Boria. Got a weak shot away in the direction of the Canadian goal, but it's kept in play by Dahlin. Dahlin centering past Steen. And a good reaction there by Ranford to block that on the short side. Sweden with an excellent scoring chance just denied. Graham. He digs, he checks, and he gets it out. Dahlin has it. 10 seconds to go in the period now. Ranford way in behind the goal, juggling it. Drops it for Smith. And that is going to do things for the first period here, in a period that the Canadian hockey fans from coast to coast had to enjoy. Their team's ahead 3-0.
Three things we saw that period. A, Billy Ranford was much better than that man, Soderstrom. The Canadians were very, very good along the boards to help set up all three goals. And that guy, Wayne Gretzky, was outstanding in on all three. That leads to a 3-0 Canadian lead.
Not only in on all three, he made all three happen. Two came shorthanded. Team Canada leads 3-0 after one. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, it's going to be very interesting on Monday, the reception that he may get when we stop into Quebec City for the USSR Canadian hockey game.
Yeah, that's going to be a sideshow. That is the hockey game to the Lindros event at the Coliseum in Quebec City.
It is making headlines daily in the French papers up in Quebec City. The Eric Lindros saga continues.
I just hope it doesn't turn ugly, and it could. Second period is underway.
Well, he looked pretty good in the Ranger uniform.
A lot of uniforms. There's McInnes ferrying it out to Boya Salming for Sweden. He taps it back inside the blue line of Canada as Smith goes rink wide. McInnes off the boards for Messier, and Messier, as you know, is on the move. He'd like to be out of Edmonton. You said you wonder who's going to be left with the Oilers, the way all the talk is swirling around. Messier skating on the ice. Number 9 takes a shot. Rundqvist. Rebound. Ranford down. Salming's backhand. That is blocked by Shanahan. Second chance for Salming, and it's cleared away with a big goal stick of Bill Ranford, and back out to center ice and down to the Swedish zone. Icing here against Team Canada.
Strong start for Bill Ranford. Once again, he relaxed last night by going to the Blue Jays game, the win over the Baltimore Orioles. And I'm talking to a number of the Swedish players, Don. They talked about Boye Salming, 16 years with the Leafs, 1 year with Detroit. They can't believe that he's 40 years of age. They said the body that he has for an athlete is still in marvelous shape. And if you think about it, they play half of the amount of games in Sweden than what they do here in the North American NHL. So for Boye, he may play for a few years yet. With his conditioning and the amount of games that they play over there, hey, keep it going.
He gave Toronto Maple Leaf fans some wonderful memories, Boya Salming did, and they welcomed him back here heartily, along with Daryl Sittler, introduced before the game to the Gardens tonight. In the Team Canada quarter, Sweden very much aware of how important the next goal is, much as the United States was aware when they got down to Team Canada by 5. They battled back to make it close in Hamilton. Larmer now with a check from Sandstrom. Swings away from Alp Dahlin and will come up the left side. Corson gets bodied by Samuelson. Larmer carries on. Larmer being hounded from behind as he works it across to the point. Desjardins keeps it alive for Canada. Larmer leaving it for Corson. Corson behind the net for Gretzky. Can he engineer another goal? He set up 3 already, waiting to make his move. They all freeze as Gretzky goes back and forth behind the net.
Penalty coming up to Ulf Samuelsson. I think he knocked the goal net off the mooring as this was happening. One of the Swedes did. I'm not sure if it was Samuelsson.
All right, this is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Spotted the play of the Swedish club by not going after Gretzky. Watch Samuelsson. He's got one arm on the crossbar, and he'll push it back and forth, trying to disguise it. Yet the net will come off. Gretzky waits. He's patient. Everybody's covered up high, except for Samuelsson knocks the net off the mooring there, and he's caught. So obviously, the Swedes have talked about Gretzky standing up behind the net, and you there were able to see what their game plan was, not to go get him.
Shanahan is on the left for the faceoff taken by Lindros. Gretzky's on the right. McInnes and Coffey on the ice for Canada on this power play opportunity. Here's Lindros centering it. Picked up by Garbenloff and cleared for Sweden. Here's Coffey now making the pass on the left side. Or Shanahan inside the blue line, or it's Larmer out there. Larmer gets turned around and the puck is golfed away. Ranford saving it for McInnes. In turn for Gretzky. Gretzky in full flight to center ice. Hits the Swedish blue line. Now waits to make the play. Good fake. Feeds McInnes for Lindros. Couldn't get his stick on it. Now McInnes to Gretzky in the Swedish corner. Fleury. Gretzky, and here we go again behind the net. Out to Fleury. Couldn't get a shot away. He was all tied up, but it's cleared down the ice.
That time it worked for the Swedes. They didn't go get Gretzky. The pass was made, but everybody was covered. I'll guarantee you, before this game's over, Gretzky will make something happen by setting up behind the net.
Now McInnes. Outside, whistle down. Howardchuk stepped inside there at the blue line.
Don, on power plays, when the other team gets the puck, the penalty-killing team, and they dump the puck down, at times players don't hustle back to reset their power play. When you watch Gretzky out here, every time the puck was shot down by the Swedish team, Gretzky got on his horse and hustled back to retrieve the puck and led the rush. This guy has got a mission. You can see he is on a mission right now in this tournament, and he's making it happen. And that guy sitting to the left side of Gretzky, Gretzky's left, Lindros, if he sits there and watches and learns, you can almost see the way Lemieux improved his play during the '87 Cup. You see it happening here to Lindros. The leadership is there.
Here's McInnes collecting it behind the Team Canada net. Makes his pass off the boards left side. Relay right wing now for Coffey. They can't get it to him. Bergquist can't clear. Howardchuk brings it forward. Fleury on his left. Around behind the Swedish goal it goes. 27 seconds to go in Sweden's penalty. Robitaille. McInnes. Robitaille takes it again. Down beside the net. Swept away from Howardchuk. Now a little Fleury with it. Back to McInnes. Robitaille was gathering up his stick and interfered with McInnes. The rest to come back and save it from Lundqvist. 5 seconds to go on the penalty. Long shot off the blocker of Bill Ranford is turned away. Samuelsson steps on the ice. Sweden's weathered the power play. Robitaille. Howardchuk trailing with Fleury. They're getting tired. They'll need a change soon. They're trying to get possession so they can make some moves. And finally, as Sweden brings it forward, Team Canada does change. Naslund to the corner, a centering pass for Steen, and Steen got tied up by Graham. Couldn't get a shot away. Graham now gets it out for Sutter. Across to Murphy with Tocchet. And Graham, Tocchet, and he couldn't get it. The puck was high, and he banged at it in midair. Couldn't connect. Sutter with it now for Tocchet of the Philadelphia Flyers, who plays it in behind once again. Graham goes into check. Thomas Sandstrom for Sweden over on the far board. Battling along with Kjell Samuelsson. Samuelsson goes down. Steen picks it up, and play is whistled down in the corner. 3-0 Canada, and this is the Labatt.
8 under. Not bad. Brought the Abbey to her knees today.
Great day for the Walrus, and that's a tough course to bring anywhere near the knees.
He's become a great hockey fan. And, of course, Wayne Gretzky in particular.
Wow, what a sports week here with the Blue Jays at home earlier in the week. The Labatt Canada Cup, the Canadian Open. It's all on CTV this week. Now here is Corson across the blue line. Splits the defense, can't get through. Almost did, though. A sandwich of Samuelsson and Johansson kept him at bay. Now Larmer with it. Larmer feeding it inside the line for Corson. Corson in front. Oh, and a chance for Gretzky, and a good save by Tommy Soderstrom. Gretzky. And there's a stoppage in play and some feelings running high. Corson getting a little heated. Nothing more will come of that. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Seen one matchup so far, or lack of, Sutter's line was on the ice. Keenan took that line off in favor of Gretzky's line. I think that Sundin, who is on the ice now, is one of the key players that Mike Keenan wants to take care of. And at even strength, you're going to see Sutter out there in his line as much as possible.
They're playing four-side, plus the goalies. A lot more room to maneuver out there with these offsetting penalties. As Nicholas Lidstrom, number 4, tries to engineer the play for Team Sweden. And Sundin with it. Now out to Messier. Messier being watched by Lidstrom. Forces him back to the corner. Sweden trying to head off Team Canada at center ice, and they're rather successful at that. A chance there, but it's on the offside as Sundin was sent in. Well, talking about Messier, he certainly was a surprise for Team Canada at the last moment. He wants to be traded, though, but where? Toronto or which team? Drive him home when the Canada comes over.
Might not be any money left for the television people, though.
Here's Corto to the blue line, but he's headed off there. A minute 10 in these 2 penalties to Team Canada and Team Sweden for roughing. Canada, 3 first-period goals for the lead they enjoy at the moment. But Sweden has made life miserable for Ranford. They've tested him the last little while, also late in that first period. In the corner, this is Forsland getting up through the crease. Dangerous play, and now here's Gretzky for Canada. He's got Corporal with him, brings it inside the line for Coffey. Coffey circling, will go to the corner and dump it in behind for the great one. Now trying to get it to Desjardins, who is tipped away from him. Back for Gretzky in behind, trying to sweep it out there. Sliding was Michael Anderson to block it. Now Peter Anderson, ex-Nordique, Washington Capital, has it to the blue line and down to the Team Canada corner. Over 7 minutes gone here. Just a dozen seconds left of the 2 penalties. Gretzky leaves it in behind for Murphy. Murphy, as Corto goes across the blue line with him. It's behind Corto, picks it up, and shoots it in the direction of the net just wide. They'll change now. Sweden bringing it forward. 12.5 minutes to go in period 2. 3-0 for Team Canada. Here is Lindros. Lindros to Harachuk trying to thread it through. Or it was Robitaille. And now it's Johansson for Sweden. Johansson to Sundin. That's broken up. And Shanahan fights for it outside the blue line.
A thing to be aware of with Sundin on the ice, he does not come back into his defensive zone. So he leaves the offensive zone late. Be prepared for that.
Here's Naslund to Samuelsson. Great chance in front. And Rundqvist got robbed by Ranford. A penalty's going to be called here. But what a save by Billy Ranford. Play goes right on. Sweden banging away all around the Team Canada net. Mats Naslund back to the point. Here's the blast from Sandstrom, and Shanahan turns it across the line, and it's finally whistled down. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. They rough it up here at CTV.
Team Sweden and Billy Ranford's been just terrific. And you can understand now why Mike Keenan wants to pay attention to that Sundstrom, Rundqvist, Naslund line. They're just getting it done. There Naslund pulls, or pardon me, Lindros pulls down Samuelsson, and Lindros is in the penalty box.
It's a holding penalty. 8:09 into the period. An important power play opportunity for Team Sweden about to begin.
There's a beef right now by Brent Sutter to the linesman regarding the upcoming face-off. Sutter wants it closer to the blue line, and it's in between the top of the circle now and the blue line.
Thomas Lundqvist on the face-off. He is a goal and assist so far in the Canada Cup.
He's their best face-off man, too. But here he's going against one of the best in the business, in Brent Sutter.
Sutter of the New York Islanders. And Sutter wins it. Canada clears it. Coming up on 9 minutes of play here in the second period. Remember, Canada has scored twice tonight while shorthanded. Sundin has to leave it inside the line, and it's cleared by Sutter. Graham, great checker, is on the ice, leading the forechecking for Canada. Now Rundqvist brings it away to the blue line with Sundin, and Lidstrom plays it in behind. Around on the far side is Naslund in pursuit. Back on the right point, rolling in front, and McInnes picks it up and blasts it down the ice. Hope changing on the fly now. McInnes getting it ahead to Larmer, and it's over 2 lines just inside the Swedish blue line.
You wonder if this makes Team Sweden a little nervous. Gretzky's on the ice killing penalties.
The Labatt's Blue Player of the Game for Team Canada will be awarded a unique Inuit sculpture courtesy of Canadian Tire. Canadian Tire supports skills development. Can't be totally comfortable the way Sweden has come back here from down 3-0. As John Davidson said, they have outshot his team in the second period and tested Bill Ranford on several occasions with great scoring opportunities. Now Thomas Steen dumps it off to Dahlin in the corner. It's checked by Desjardins. Thomas Sandstrom of the LA Kings takes over for Steen. They dig it back to Samuelsson, and they keep the power play alive. Fluid inside the blue line. But now this is Larmer with it for Canada. Rink wide for Gretzky. He drops it off in behind, and Larmer steps inside the line just to kill a few seconds in the Team Sweden zone. 34 seconds left now on the Eric Lindros penalty. Here's Dahlin being turned away by the side of the Canadian net. Larmer trying to win control in the corner. Steen moves in for Sweden. Makes his pass back on the point. Johansson shot, rebound. Steen banks. Sandstrom, and down was the glove of Ranford on top of the puck.
Bill Ranford, good saves. The rebound sitting out front a little bit. And the Swedish club never really got to the puck cleanly. In other words, having time to get a clean shot. The Canadian defenseman here trying to move people out. Coffey does. Desjardins gets back, and finally Billy Ranford's able to hang on. Ranford would love to make $750,000 a year for the upcoming season with Edmonton. They're stuck right now in a contract disagreement, as is a number of the Edmonton Oilers with Glenn Sather and company. Ranford becoming one of the best in the business. You can see it.
Sweden out shooting Team Canada 19-11 at this point. The midway point exactly of this Labatt Canada Cup matchup at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Just a second left now. Lindros back on the ice. Canada at full strength. Murphy tying up Bergqvist at center ice, turns him around. They bump along the near boards for it. Little flurry. Goes to the corner, taken down. No penalty indication. Play goes right on as the fans voice their displeasure.
That appeared to me to be a pretty good dive that the referee didn't go for.
There's Berglund now, makes a weak pass and rolls to the doorstep, high in the air, and Ranford flags it down and then dumps it off to the left corner. They are hitting all over the ice. A check behind the play on Samuelsson by Lindros.
Now an offside. Messier skated into the puck and took a hit, but he ended up being the player to hand it out.
Fast-paced, bruising action here. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on Soderstrom was the star when Sweden upset the Soviet Union. He held the Soviets at bay.
Shots on goal, 8-1 in the second period. The one shot by Canada, that one by Gretzky, that Soderstrom made a fine save on. We've seen Samuelsson take some hits. There's Messier involved with one of the Swedish players. Actually, it was Berglund who led the hits. Messier was prepared for it. Big Lindros was throwing some hits in behind the play. And we do have 2 players in the penalty box.
Yeah, Messier is in the cooler, along with number 15, Johan Garpenlov for Sweden. 9 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the second period. Team Canada, despite being outshot, still leads 3-0 after a dominant first period. This is Nicholas Lidström, Swedish defenseman, getting it back to Forsland. Now inside the line, they come forward. Tocchet moves in to help along with Smith. They bunch up on Thomas Forsland in the corner, but Salming has it on the right point. His shot hits Forsland, can't find the rebound, gets tied up, and Smith comes away with it. Dale Howardchuk of the Buffalo Sabres takes a check in the corner from Forsland. Steve Smith. Howardchuk. He'll go to the bench after golfing it in now. Makes a left turn and stays on the ice to keep the puck in the Swedish zone. Sweden clears back inside Team Canada's blue line. About 8 minutes to play in the second period. They both change now. Sullivan against Corson. Rink wide from Sundin to Rundqvist. Sundin in the corner. Ranford clears it there. Passing it in front past Johansson, but kept in by Samuelsson. Now Mats Sundin. Sundin setting, shooting. Great save by Ranford. My, what a save by the Edmonton Oilers' Bill Ranford.
Shot for Team Sweden, maybe their best of the game. It comes off the stick blade of Mats Sundin, a rolling puck, and Ranford with a sensational catching glove save. Team USA talked about Ranford's gloves, said they would try to keep the puck away from Ranford's glove side. Now you can see why. Great save. The Swedes have dominated here for portions of the second period, and Bill Ranford has been, without a question, the difference.
Sutter wins another face-off against Rundqvist. And Team Canada, Sutter carrying, brings it across the Swedish line once again. Approaching the 13-minute mark of this period, 3-0 for Team Canada. Offsetting penalties just seconds away from expiration. Sutter being marked by Kalle Johansson. And they whistle it down in that corner. The referee will come to the bench again. A roughing call against this man on the bats. Canada Cup and C. Red Sutter for roughing. 12:53 could be a critical time to send a Swedish power play into motion.
Johansson holding up Sutter, and Sutter reacts, and this referee is calling reaction penalties, something to be aware of. Now listen, any coach in the league will tell you the 3-0 lead, it's great to have it. But when you have a 3-0 lead, teams tend to relax mentally somewhat, and I think Team Canada has here in the second period. And if not for Bill Ranford, this thing would be a lot closer than what it is.
That's right. Not only have they had it, they've had that lead for quite a long time now. 13 minutes have gone by in the second period. Those two earlier offsetting penalties have now expired, so Sutter is in the penalty box, and Sweden will test Team Canada on the power play opportunity. Dahlin's on the ice now with Sandstrom. They bring it inside the line. Sandstrom with it, trying to center it. He's stick check, but he carries right on. He's got Samuelsson on the left point. Made a bad pass. Gretzky clears to center. Messier bumping with Kalle Johansson. Canada trying to head Sweden off their own blue line. They do successfully. And Gretzky stepped inside just a hair offside.
And a penalty upcoming to Mark Messier, I believe. He was about to be hit. Got his stick right up across one of the Team Sweden players, and Canada will now be shorthanded 2 players. The Swedes taking the body. Watch Messier's stick. Boom. Across the back of the head of Thomas Steen. Steen's helmet's knocked forward, and Team Canada gets caught here.
Yeah, they get caught in an emotion game that they can't win if they want to hold this lead.
You could sense it earlier with Sandstrom driving people crazy. Sutter takes an offensive penalty. Here, well, the team's shorthanded. Mark Messier takes a penalty. And like the referee or not, the key is the team's got to settle in and start being smarter.
So the best opportunity of the night for Sweden to get back in the game is afforded them here. There's still 1:19 left to go in Sutter's roughing penalty. And now joining him is Mark Messier.
Swedes with their 5 best offensive players on the ice right now.
McInnes, Larmer, and Gretzky, the defenders for Canada. Sundin makes the bad pass, and Canada clears.
And another penalty upcoming, this time to Team Sweden. The turnover was created, and Larmer was tripped up by number 4, Lidstrom. And this was a smart play by the Canadians with their penalty-killing unit. Right inside the blue line. Larmer read the play. Lindstrom was beaten on the fake and put the leg out and trip up. Stave Larmer. And here Team Sweden had a chance to get into it. And Larmer, who's not a flashy player, but bright, very bright on the ice, showed his stuff.
So that eases some of the pressure. Still 4 attackers against 3 for 1 minute and 5 seconds.
Lidstrom is their best young offensive defenseman. He takes that penalty and sits. So Ulf Samuelsson comes out to play left defense on this power play unit.
Steen on the face-off wins it. Samuelsson tries to bring it ahead of the right wing pass to Sandstrom. That's inside the line. Skates to the corner. Sandstrom will dig it back for Kalle Johansson. Here's the play in front for Samuelsson, and a great save again in the glove of Billy Ranford. What a performance Ranford has put on here tonight. Gretzky will kill seconds now, taking it back behind his own net. 35 seconds left in the Sutter penalty.
Did you see that? Is that something to watch? 99% of the people playing hockey wouldn't even think of trying that because it's just too scary. But knocking the puck off the net, the back of the net, getting it back, some move.
Kalle Johansson to Samuelsson. He will fake the shot. 12 seconds left in the Sutter penalty. That's the extent now of the time of the Swedish power play advantage. Kalle Johansson down to the corner. Steen feeds it back to him. Now Samuelsson. Quick shot blocked in front somehow through a maze by Ranford. And Sutter's back on the ice chasing a loose puck. Team Canada's killed the power play. And that's got to frustrate Team Sweden. They've outshot them. They've outplayed them in this period, but they still trailed them 3-0.
11-1. The shots now in favor of the Swedish Hockey Club. The Billy Ranford, who's a well-conditioned athlete, continues to get it done. There's no air conditioning here. Billy Ranford, every stoppage, takes the mask, puts it on his head to breathe easier. What a save he makes as he reads this play, gets across with his glove hand down, swats the puck out of the air off of Ulf Samuelsson. Now he shows how good his feet are. Look at Sandstrom waiting for a deflection. It's a low shot. Kick save and a beauty right there by Billy Ranford. Well-conditioned done. They did a sit-up test in training camp for Team Canada. Marty McSorley had the most with 120. Second was Gary Roberts with 110. Bill Ranford, the goaltender, third at 107. Goaltenders not too many years ago were never in that great a shape. It tells you a lot about Ranford. Corey?
Well said as a former goaltender. Naslund, 4:39 to play in the period. Skates to center ice for Sweden. Knocks it off the left side for Sundin. Sundin shot. Ranford again kicks that away. Great reflexes by Ranford is getting it done tonight under enormous pressure. Peter Anderson now. Max Naslund on the ice is Messier for Canada. So they've got a brief advantage now for 5 seconds over Team Sweden, but they'll use the time to change. Sutter forcing something at the blue line, but he'll go to the bench as well. Naslund stays out there. Canada with pressure players at the moment that Team Sweden caught on this change. They'll go to the bench one by one and try to alleviate that problem. Sundin going inside the line against Fleury. Little Theo Fleury rides him off and lets Eric Desjardins of the Montreal Canadiens bring it forward. Desjardins dumping it off at center ice for Gretzky. Gretzky being watched by Naslund. And Sweden comes away with it. 2-on-2 to center ice. 3:45 in the period. In they go. Shot deflected by Coffey and steered away from Salming. Still 3-0 for Canada. 3.5 minutes to go in the second period. Frequent line changes by Mike Keenan. Now Desjardins gets a break. Fleury forechecking. Paul Coffey is on the ice. He'll shoot it down to the Swedish corner. And it pops over. With 3:19 left, we have a whistle here. The 3-0 lead for Canada. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. It is 3-0 Team Canada here, and amazingly, Canada's only managed 1 shot on goal here in the second period, yet they hold a shutout lead.
Team Sweden's had 12, and of those 12, the majority have been quality scoring chances. Team Canada has badly outchanced the opposition through 2 games. They outchanced the Finns 24-14 and outchanced the Americans 32-15 in quality scoring chances. Those are numbers set up by the coaches looking at tapes, Don, but not in this game.
Little Fleury makes a bump but can't knock the Swedish player off balance. Lidstrom brings it forward, rolls it to Ranford's doorstep, and he will hang on. Right now, if you are voting for the Labatt player of this game, you've got a problem. Bill Ranford, Wayne Gretzky.
It is a problem. They've both been, by far, Canada's two best players. Gretzky killing penalties, and Billy Ranford just here in the second period, slowing down the onslaught. There you could see how he got the puck. He held on to it. Earlier in the game, he was moving it quickly. I think he fully realizes he's got to slow things down. Now he asks Mark Messier to go and get a refill of water that he can keep on top of his goal net. He is either showing that he's starting to get a little bit tired, or perhaps he's trying to slow down the offensive onslaught that the Swedes have put forth. They've had a multitude of great scoring chances. Ranford obviously here trying to slow it down. He's now talking to the referee. Now settles in.
On the draw for Sweden, Charles Berglund battling for it. But here's Fleury coming away with it. To Shanahan on his left and on to the right corner of Team Sweden. Fleury bumping in there with Lidstrom. Sweden brings it out. Berglund with Bergqvist across. Oh, they shot wide. Shanahan off the boards, clears the zone. 2 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the second period. Bergqvist dropping it off for Berglund. Salming keeps it alive in the zone. Team Sweden has done everything but score on Bill Ranford here in the second period. Long lead pass redirected by Shanahan to the Swedish zone as they will change full force on the fly. Coming up at the 2-minute mark and time remaining in the second period. Forsland now almost gave it away in his own zone. Forechecking Courtnall falling and behind the play. Borje Salming. He clears to the stick of Murphy. Shot right back in. Sweden trying to regroup here and bring it out. Knifing in front of his own crease for the pass to Johansson. It comes over on the right boards now to Forsland. Edstrom with him in there, but Canada clears to center ice. Hyrachuk ridden off the puck with 1:35 to go, and Courtnall is everywhere in pursuit of the puck for Canada. Here comes Robitaille with Hyrachuk. His shot is deflected up in among the spectators. 1:25 remaining in the second period.
Coming up between periods, we'll have a Canadian Open report. Day one from Glen Abbey. We'll have Czechoslovakia and the United States action from Joe Louis. A sports break from CTV Sports Control. Blue Jays leading 9-1 in Cleveland in the 7th. And our Bill Clement will be along with his analysis of that second period.
Well, we talked during the first period, we talked about the swarming defense of Team Canada, especially in the neutral zone. Here in this period, the Swedes have moved the puck quickly, and the Canadians have not been close to their checks, especially in the neutral zone. Hence, the Swedes move the puck through the zone quickly and set up offensive plays.
Here comes Team Sweden. Pass to Naslund, hops off his stick. A very frustrating second period for Sweden. They've shown a lot of heart in battling back here. Now they'll mix it up, and the linesman will come in with 1 minute and 2 seconds left between the two benches.
Steve Smith, another one of the Team Canada players who enjoyed the ball game last night in the Dome. Got an autographed baseball from Kelly Gruber. Board work, and there's Smith coming in on Sundin. The play was alive. The puck was there. A perfectly legal play.
That's a harder hit than the Orioles could muster last night.
Stottlemyre was pretty good, wasn't he?
Yeah, powerful. Jimmy Key must be tonight, too. They'll announce that score in a minute here. You'll hear the roar. 9-1 Blue Jays lead in Cleveland. A minute to go here in the second period. Here's Sutter trying to jam it in. Just turned away by Samuelsson. Naslund with it now for Team Sweden. 40 seconds to go in the second period. Desjardins clears the zone. Gets it again, leaving it for Sutter. Good forechecking by Sweden. They try to force the play. Sundin with Naslund. Feeding Naslund. Going to an open corner with 22 seconds to go now. Desjardins for Canada. Naslund. Now Canada breaks it out with 15 seconds to go. Dirk Graham. Sutter trailing. Here's Tocchet shooting, and that's redirected by goaltender Tommy Soderstrom. 5 5 seconds remaining in the second period. Tocchet fighting forward with Naslund. And that'll do it for period 2. 3-0 for Canada after 40 minutes.
And it looks like a beleaguered Billy Ranford. An outstanding second period, and I believe that Mike Keenan is going to have to try and recharge his troops here. Sweden had themselves a fine period, and if they have another strong period like that coming up in the third, Team Canada could be in trouble.
Sweden just keeps on coming, and Ranford just keeps on turning them away. They've been outshot 24-12. All right, Rod, thank you. And this man was tested certainly in the first period, Tommy Soderstrom, but in the second period in particular, the man at the other end of the ice stole the show, plain and simple. It's been Bill Ranford, Wayne Gretzky night in Maple Leaf Gardens.
Don, Wayne Gretzky told us that he'd take the majority of his faceoffs in this game. Starting the third period, Corson takes the draw. You wonder if Gretzky's hand, perhaps, was bumped and maybe he's a little bit sore.
He told us before the game he planned to take 4 faceoffs, but you're right, it hasn't turned out that way at all. Here's Corson reaching forward and letting a shot go, redirected by Soderstrom up into the crowd. We're just seconds into the third period. Canada with all the scoring in the first. 2 of the goals shorthanded. And the man who coached Sweden to the World Championship, Connie Evanson, 1991, has to be frustrated with his team being turned back by Ranford the way he has denied them tonight.
I think he's pretty proud of the way they played in the second period. He was a former player himself, a center iceman. He's a focused coach, not a demanding yeller and screamer, but he's certainly technically sound as a coach, or so his players tell me.
Rundqvist wins the draw for the veteran Solving. Takes it in behind his own goal. Will try the left side. Gretzky missed the check at center ice. Rundqvist carries on now to the blue line of Team Canada. And Sundin is with him. It's shot back out, brought back in again, and called on the offside of the Team Canada blue line.
Team Canada changing up their defense pairings. Coffey had seen a lot of ice time with Desjardins. Here Coffey's on the ice with Al MacInnis. Paul Coffey, by the way, Don, worked this summer putting together a video on power skating. As we know, Coffey, one of the finest players ever to play as far as skating goes. He did the video up near Peterborough, and he did it with 6 young children. 4 of them boys, 2 of them little girls that are hockey players or skaters, put it that way. And I guess it's pretty good. He's hoping to get it out this fall.
Desjardins from behind his own net. Feeds it off on the left side for a little flurry. Cross to Messier and on down to the Swedish corner. Robitaille collects it in behind. Right aside step out Samuelson's check. Johansson is in there to help out now in the scrum as they squeeze it free to Alf Dahlen. He's watched by Messier, but gets it ahead to Calle Johansson. Team Sweden. Shot out so far tonight, brings it in with a shot by Samuelsson. Would have been wide of the net. Ranford got a piece of it anyway. Now Fleury's there to pick it up. Dahlen, Ranford's doorstep, has to stop that. Another save. 26 shots now by Sweden, all blocked by Bill Ranford. Threading his way through the zone for Team Canada was Desjardins with a pass to Messier, but it comes back to the neutral zone. Over the boards they come. Reinforcements. A minute and a half into the third period. Fleury gets a rest. Smith takes the pass. Steen ties him up and forces it inside the Canadian blue line. Icing is waved off. Team Canada digs forward in behind. Here is big Lindros overskating it. Tried to send Garpeloff free on the left side, but it goes over the line. It'll called all the way back for icing in the Swedish zone. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
And the Americans move on to Chicago, where they play their next 2 games. And if that house happens to be full in Chicago, they'll be behind their club for sure.
Who would have thought on this stage of the Canada Cup, both the Czechs and the Soviets would be 1 and 2 and maybe in danger of missing the playoffs? Who would have thought that Team Sweden could outshoot Team Canada from the second period on to the extent they have and still not score? Larmer, Coffey, and Graham with first period goals, all engineered by Wayne Gretzky. The story in this game is Team Canada leads 3-0. Face off of the Team Sweden zone. Lindros won it, goes in behind, tries to pick it up and center it. Shot off the boards by Samuelsson. They fail to clear. Now they'll bring it out. Samuelsson leaves it at center ice. Lindros sweeping in forward inside the blue line with Howardchuk. His shot right on, rebound. Two fine stops by Tommy Soderstrom. Courtnall. Murphy's blast. Soderstrom down. The puck didn't reach him. Team Canada with sustained pressure for the first time in a long while in the Swedish zone. Here's Lindros scoring! 4-0 Canada!
Forward line, Courtnall, Howardchuk, and Lindros up high in the slot. The effort by the two forwards, Courtnall and Howardchuk, set up Lindros, and he, with his big size, has a tremendous shot. He waits for the puck, and falling away, snaps it in behind the Swedish goaltender. But Don, that's the effort that the Team Canada club showed in the first half of the first period. What a huge goal that is to give Canada a commanding 4-0 lead.
It's his second goal. He also has 2 assists in the Canada Cup, and it makes it 4-0 for Team Canada. Now this part is scary. Lindros is 6'5", 228. At age 18, he still has growing ahead of him. He's imposing enough now. Here's Graham, a quick shot. That's whistled down now as it was blocked by Soderstrom. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. Penalty coming here on CTV. He'll be off for roughing at exactly the 3-minute mark of the final period.
A roughing penalty that the referee decided he saw on the far side of the ice as Brent Sutter had touched the puck on the near side. Team Canada's specialty teams have been fabulous throughout this tournament to this point. They've scored 3 shorthanded goals. Penalty killing and power play have been very strong.
Rundqvist couldn't find Naslund with a pass. Salming collects it at center ice for Sweden. Now down 4-0, despite out shooting Canada 26-15 tonight. Rundqvist to an open wing. Sutter uses the boards in an attempt to clear and does get it back to the neutral zone. Naslund for Sweden with it. Rink wide, back off the skates of Naslund. Turned away by Sutter as he reached the blue line, and it's cleared back down the ice.
Now, Don, that forward unit of Graham and Sutter get the job done defensively when they kill penalties. Now, this unit that's on the ice now, Larmer and Gretzky, they think offense when they kill penalties. Defense first, but they think of jumping into the play and getting something offensively if the chance comes along.
Be sure to stay tuned right after the game for the Apple Autoglass Canada Cup game highlight. Apple Autoglass saves you money. 4-0 for Team Canada. Here's a chance for Thomas Sandstrom. Turn back, has it on the near boards, tries to dig it down to the corner and does to Thomas Steen. Sandstrom now with Gretzky with the Los Angeles Kings in the National Hockey League in a trade from the Rangers last year. Plays it back to Steen as they play catch. Back and forth they go. Sandstrom skates to the net. They jam it in front. Down goes Brentford, and he holds them at bay once again.
Don, what the Swedes are trying to do here is play catch on one side of the ice and draw people to them, opening up the other man on the far side. But the Canadian penalty killing unit did not fall for it. Steen's pretty tricky. He's a centerman. Gretzky goes to move out to the point. Watch Steen trip him up. Whoop. Tricky little play that he got away with.
Not called.
This guy has a lot of talent. We've all seen him play many games with the Jets. But the players here that he plays with talk about how smart he is. Ulf Dahlin in particular says you have to be ready all the time in the offensive zone because he'll put the puck on your stick blade when you least expect it.
It's a dangerous line. Steen with Donald and Sandstrom. Johansson and Samuelsson back at the point. Samuelsson keeps it alive. Stevens golfs it around, but retained on the right point. Kept in play by Sweden. Tackett in the penalty box. 26 seconds left to go. It drifts wide of Brantford. Murphy. He opens at Glen Abbey, but a lot of golfing going on here as Murphy gets it out to center ice. Now Dahlin. Sandstrom. Steen helping out. Back to the right point. Sweden keeping the puck moving, but not getting any quality shots. There's one now from a bad angle by Sandstrom, but it's cleared immediately. A second left. Tackett steps on the ice. Canada's back at strength.
I think one of the secrets for Canada is the fact that they used 3 forward sets. They used Graham and Sutter, Gretzky, Larmer, and then Fleury and Messier, and fresh forwards can really help.
Here comes Sweden again. Drop back, hard blast from the stick of Bergqvist, sails over top of Brantford's cage. Robitaille takes the bump on the board. Samuelsson into the far corner where Desjardins collects it for Canada and clears the zone with 14.5 minutes to play in the game. Robitaille tries to turn Samuelsson around and win possession. Now Robitaille's got it. Makes the pass. Corson's all time out. And number 15, Garpenlov. Shanahan works free, shoots, and that's gloved and retained by Tommy Soderstrom.
Carson with a little bump on the goaltender. Got the Swedish contingent a little upset, especially Garpenlov. He was the first one to go in and take a shot at Corson. Mike Keenan has used everybody on the bench. He's used all of his 6 defensemen and all of his 13 forwards.
Remember, if you start a fight on these rules, you are gone. This is the one.
From the netminder, took a little bump from Corson. There's that superstition he has. He backs into the goal and tries to wear out the top of his hockey pants. He's a character. He's a hard-working goaltender. He's a skilled goaltender. And he also, Don, wants to be a professional gambler. He's a roulette player. Figures he can beat the system. And says when he gets out of this racket, he's going to become a professional gambler. Well, good luck. There are many broken hearts along the way.
Picked up in the Swedish zone. Forsling forcing it back. Number 4, Lidstrom with it. McInnes keeps it in. His blast from the point. Now Courtnall digs it in front. Intercepted there by Anderson of Sweden. A lot of skating room now. 4 aside plus goalies. Here's Courtnall trying to feed Howard Chuck. Finds him, but it deflects out to McInnes. Wide angle shot is blocked by Soderstrom. Forsling. Check, and then a great check by Courtnall on Anderson. And it's whistled down. Who's going to get called for it?
I think Borje Salming's going to get a high sticking call. Courtnall with a pretty interesting hip check. Salming had a very active shift. He gave the puck away, then got it back, and then got involved to take the penalty. Salming will get the puck. Oh, this is Courtnall moving back. This is the second hip check he's tried to throw this game. This time it connects in a big way, and there's Salming going in. And when Salming hits, he likes to have his arms up. And the referee saw that the stick was up, and he handed out the penalty.
High sticking at 6:39 to Salming after the Courtnall hip check. So Team Canada has the advantage. And Gretzky convinced the linesman, and rightly so, the face-off should go to the Swedish zone. It'll come to the right of Tommy Soderstrom. Gretzky will take it himself, directing traffic as he steps to the circle. Just 3 Swedish defenders. Soderstrom huddled back in his net, now comes forward.
He lines up for a pass off the face-off dot. If I was a centerman, I'd try a shot right off the drop of the puck. He lines up towards the center ice side, not thinking that the centerman's going to release a shot off the drop.
Copies in full flight as he hits the Swedish blue line. He's got Larmer, Gretzky, and McInnes for company in there. 4-on-3 they play it. Intercepted by Kalle Johansson. He'll clear for Sweden. 7 minutes and change gone here in the third period. Team Canada leads by 4, and they're flying on the power play. Gretzky slows it to the pace he wants. To McInnes. Now takes it back on the point. Across the ice he goes. Gretzky shooting, and it's wide of the net. Kalle Johansson. Larmer gets tied up at the edge of the crease, and Gretzky has it near the red line. Larmer. McInnes. Now Gretzky shoots it again. It's off target.
If that's a case of the Swedish club would rather have Gretzky take the long shot than allow Al McInnes to take the long shot. So they took away the pass across to McInnes, and Gretzky shot it and missed.
Here comes Coffey again on the long feed from Gretzky. He will play it in behind the net. Team Canada changing on the go here. 30 seconds left for Team Canada and the power play opportunity. Here's Sweden, the fast break by Sanderson. Sandstrom brings it out and then is turned back by the hustle of Fleury.
Murphy's got his stick stuck in the blade of his skate.
And Sweden clears. They will bring it right back for a face-off to the right of Soderstrom. Furious action there, and Canada, through it all, has widened the lead by a goal.
Fleury had a lot to do with it in the offensive zone. The thing about Fleury, he's a smart hitter. When he hits in front of the other team's body. If the player's skating up the boards, they'll find a way to get in front of him. Here, actually, he got away with tripping up Sandstrom right there, and that was right in front of the referee. Sandstrom appealed. Fleury did not get caught. Fleury along the boards doesn't lose many battles, Don, because he knows how to get in front of the opposition player to impede his progress and slow him up.
Wayne Gretzky in the first period set up 3 goals. And then a dramatic 4th goal by Eric Lindros here in the third period has given Canada a little breathing room against a charging Swedish team.
It's given Bill Ranford a chance to rest. He's only had 2 shots here in the third, as Team Canada is much better away from the puck, much better around the puck, and back to that swarming defensive play they showed in the first half of the first period.
Fleury, seconds left of the penalty. Murphy a blast, a second one, and then is gloved and retained as the penalized player steps back on the ice. 11:18 to go in the game. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. This is Don Chevrier along with John Davidson. Canada looking for win number 2 along with a tie in the Labatt Canada Cup of 1991. In command, heading down the stretch at Maple Leaf Gardens tonight.
Russ Courtnall seeing a lot of ice time in this game, and it appears as though Mark Messier getting an opportunity to rest a little bit on the bench, not seeing as much ice time.
Sweden brings it forward. Number 18, Bergqvist inside the line and rolls to Ranford. He'll smother it. Coming up on 9 minutes here in the period.
Hawerchuk, Lindros connection continues to be intact, as Hawerchuk is seeing a lot of the wing work, playing the left side on this line. He thoroughly enjoys this Canada Cup action. In '87, he was used in all different roles when they won it. Team Canada, that is.
On the draw, Berglund gets turned around. They'll leave him there for a second chance.
Don, it's tough to see a player out-muscle Lindros for a loose puck.
Kick to the line and plucked by Ranford again with a glove hand.
Lindros lost that draw. Smart play by the Swedish player, Berglund, but Berglund could not go anywhere. Lindros just wrapped him up and kept him out of the play as Berglund was trying to get to Bill Ranford. You won't win every faceoff. Team Canada now makes a change, takes Lindros away from the circle, and they put the more experienced Hawerchuk in against the same Swedish player.
And he wins the draw. Stevens flipped ahead to the line, kept in by Lindstrom. Now here's the pass and a great save by Ranford, and that blast from Berglund. sliding across the net to get there in time. Corkle is set away on the right side by Howardchuk. Lindros in front directs it off target. Oh, and he hit the net hard. Lindros hit that net hard. It came off its moorings, and he is still down. A little slow getting to his feet. This is the Labatt Canada Cup at CTV. Lindros at the bench took quite a shot into that net, knocked it off his moorings, but he looks all right.
He drove to the net. Bergquist was all over him. A nice defensive play. Net knocked off. Face off Swedish. So there's the goaltender again towards the center ice instead of the face-off dot.
Quick shot by Smith is wide. Desjardins, that's going to go from the other side. Redirected by Corson, and it just missed. Now Graham battling along the near boards for Team Canada. Smith fencing with number 23, Edstrom, in behind the play. Now Smith has the puck on the left side. Relayed ahead inside the line. We now have 10 minutes to play in the final period. And a stoppage in play inside the Team Sweden zone.
Edstrom and Sutter were having words. Now Edstrom is getting involved, just about everybody. Steve Smith. Edstrom is a feisty player. I watched him bump a little bit during that first period. He's an individual who wasn't scheduled to make this team, but did so through some hard work. He's got some feistiness to him.
Well, what do you do in a night off after a first round of the Open? The British Open champion Ian Baker Finch celebrating his -4 round today, watching a pretty good hockey game.
He was at the Blue Jay game last night, so he's having quite a week here in Toronto with all kinds of things happening.
A lot of those golfers are great sports fans, and they'll go back to work tomorrow, and CTV will have the second round for you at 4 Eastern Time from the challenging Glen Abbey course. But the challenge is met today by Craig Stedler, Ian Baker Finch, and so many others. They blasted par. Into the final 10 minutes we go of the Canada-Sweden Labatt Canada Cup game from Maple Leaf Gardens on CTV. Rolling in the Swedish corner. Canada ahead by 4. Little flurry in pursuit back there against Peter Anderson. Keeps the puck in play. Cleared by Rundqvist. Now brought to center ice for Sweden. Left wing pass to Mats Sundin. He's checked by Al McInnes. Samuelsson lobs it to the Team Canada corner. McInnes reacts quickly to the line. Kept in by Sweden. Fleury chops it behind him. Robitaille chasing against Rundqvist inside the blue line. Mats Naslund circling. Now penetrates the Canadian blue. Here's a shot point-blank range from Mats Sundin, and Ranford came out to meet him. The 29th shot he has turned away tonight to preserve the shutout. And here comes Messier with Robitaille and McInnes. Larmer will try to keep it in play at the blue line. He does. But Team Canada changes in behind at the bench. Gretzky steals it. Here's Gretzky in front, and nobody is there. Steen intercepts and brings it back for Sweden. He gets turned away, and Larmer leads it to Gretzky. Gretzky going in one-on-one. Circles the net. Still controls the puck and brings it all the way back up the center ice. Now he comes forward again with Corkle and Shanahan. Shanahan shot. Söderström handles that. Centered in front. Sweden intercepts. Gretzky is there again. Takes a check. Baker Finch and so many others. They blasted par. Into the final 10 minutes we go of the Canada-Sweden Labatt Canada Cup game from Maple Leaf Gardens on CTV. Rolling in the Swedish corner. Canada ahead by 4. Little flurry in pursuit back there against Peter Anderson. Keeps the puck in play. Cleared by Rundqvist. Now brought to center ice for Sweden. Left wing pass to Mats Sundin. He's checked by Al McInnes. Samuelsson lobs it to the Team Canada corner. McInnes reacts quickly to the line. Kept in by Sweden. Fleury chops it behind him. Robitaille chasing against Rundqvist inside the blue line. Mats Naslund circling. Now penetrates the Canadian blue. Here's a shot point-blank range from Mats Sundin, and Ranford came out to meet him. The 29th shot he has turned away tonight to preserve the shutout. And here comes Messier with Robitaille and McInnes. Larmer will try to keep it in play at the blue line. He does. But Team Canada changes in behind at the bench. Gretzky steals it. Here's Gretzky in front, and nobody is there. Steen intercepts and brings it back for Sweden. He gets turned away, and Larmer leads it to Gretzky. Gretzky going in one-on-one. Circles the net. Still controls the puck and brings it all the way back up to center ice. Now he comes forward again with Korkdal and Shanahan. Shanahan shot. Söderström handles that. Centered in front. Sweden intercepts. Gretzky is there again. Takes a check. Knocked off balance by Salming, but keeps on going. What a show by Gretzky here. He's controlled the play for almost a minute.
Tell you what, the people were standing. They were standing and watching, and now they're cheering Gretzky with a magical shift.
Intercepted by Sweden. Sandstrom bumped by Howard Chuck. Sweden carries on, and Ranford couldn't find it for a moment, but makes his 30th stop. 7:39 to go. Big Lindros, the 18-year-old, gets turned back. Korkdal trying to muscle Johansson on the far board. Shot in, delayed offside. Ranford will save it for Lindros. Lindros circles Berglund, goes in on net, passes in front, and Howard Chuck almost made it 5-0. They bang away in front. Still loose to the zone. Smith shooting off the goalpost. Unbelievable action by Team Canada here in the Labatt Canada Cup. The Swedes finally clear.
I tell you, Samuelsson is hurting. Lindros just pacing.
There is Smith, and he's just kind of redirected by Söderström.
Todd, Samuelsson is a right defenseman. Lindros went right through him to set up a play, and then Samuelsson, as you can see there, was hit by Lindros.
This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Of dominance. He will go right through the defenseman right here. Samuelsson moves up, boom, right on by him. This sets up a scoring chance for Team Canada that doesn't quite finish. And then Lindros will absolutely nail right here, get position, and then drive Samuelsson into the boards. And somehow, somewhere, Cam Neely has a smile on his face, because this guy who you're looking at, Samuelsson, the competitor that he is, drove Cam Neely nuts all through the playoffs. Yeah, boy, what a crunching check by a big Eric Lindros.
Sutter on the draw, gets turned around. Tocchet will try to carry on behind and center it. He cannot. Now here's Sutter again digging, but it's acquired by Peter Anderson. And Sweden comes in 3-on-3 now. Canada's defenders backing up smartly to cover at the blue line. 6 minutes and 25 seconds remaining with a 4-0 Canadian lead over Sweden. A tumble by Sutter over Anderson at center ice. Shells Samuelsson as it goes off the stick of Eriksson in there. Corson gave it away for a moment, recovered quickly, and back come the white-shirted Canadians with Graham to Corson offside at Sweden's blue line.
Brent Sutter just stepping in ahead of the play. Lucazi offside. The Swedish club had a tremendous second period, about a 25-minute stretch. They were great. Team Canada has gotten back to that swarming checking, neutral zone along the boards everywhere, and because of that, they haven't given up nearly as many quality scoring chances against.
A roar went up a few minutes ago when they announced on the scoreboard that the Toronto Blue Jays had trounced Cleveland 13-1, but a bigger roar went up when it said that Detroit was trailing Oakland 4-1. They're mighty happy with what's happening here also. 4-0 for Team Canada. Bounced into the Swedish corner. 5 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. And Börje Salming gets it across. Sundin carries down the left side. It rolls to Stevens. Makes a pass that's intercepted by Rundqvist. Rundqvist was tied up from behind by Robitaille. Couldn't get a good shot away. Murphy goes down on top of a Swedish player in a pile, and play is stopped.
Theo Fleury back checking. The thing about, and I tried to mention it earlier, is that he gets good body position. He was back checking on what we call the weak side. The weak side where the puck is the area where the puck is not. And the Swedish team is a good passing team, Don. And when you back check, you try to get the people in your lane. And Fleury did that by grabbing a hold of Rundqvist, so he takes them out of the play. Sundin was looking for somewhere to pass it. Nobody was open.
Rundqvist, as you pointed out, very tough on the faceoff. Digs it back to Lidstrom. Sweden pressing to get on the board here with time running out. Just barely 5 minutes to play in the third period, but Team Canada has just cleared the zone. Rundqvist chasing it. Shanahan watching him, and he passes it off to Salming. Borje Salming now. Still going strong at age 40. At the blue line, brings it to the corner. Young Sundin gets it, a backhand shot, and Ranford turns that away on the short side in smart fashion. 32 stops by Ranford now. They whistle that one down, and some fencing with Sundin and Smith, and they're going to go at each other at the can. The linesman separates them. Remember, fighting means ejection under the international rules.
Yeah, things calmed down rather quickly. Sundin filing a grievance towards the referee. And some penalties will be handed out. Both Steve Smith and Sundin go to the penalty box.
Both could probably use the rest. It's been furious action here in the Labatt Canada Cup Sweden-Canada game. Sundin reluctantly going into the penalty box.
Steve Smith may get something a little extra here. Maybe a misconduct as they are trying to get both of them now. Both will get something a little extra done, as they had extra words near the penalty box, and I believe both players.
Yeah, they're gone for the night.
Yes. Not a bad trade-off with Team Canada, with them having a 4-0 lead. Sweden needs to score and score quickly, and Sundin is one of their best scorers. So he's been ejected, and that has to favor Team Canada, taking nothing away, of course, the fine defensive play of Steve Smith.
Now to serve the Miners, Bergqvist and Fleury will sit in the box.
Sundin wasn't real happy.
No.
Shades of Chris Nyland. Shades of... Watch that Zamboni back there. Old Samuelson tried that last year and got fined for it.
That's got to be frustrating for Sweden. They put on a great surge down 3-0, but could not score on Ranford. And now they are in a hopeless situation, down by 4 with 4:28 to play. Team Canada leads it 4-0. Face-off will come to the left to Bill Ranford. Wayne Gretzky made Canada leaders early with 3 beautifully set up goals, and Ranford made sure they stayed in front.
Don, in talking to some of the Swedish players, they talked about face-offs, and they say that the Swedes don't pay as much attention to face-offs as do North American teams. And in that regard, I think the Canadian club has controlled most of the important face-offs in this game. An example of it's right here. We have Sandstrom taking the draw. And now they're thinking, well, he's taking the draw against Gretzky. Dahlin, the winger, left-handed shot too, has played a lot of center ice in his career. And it's interesting that Sandstrom takes the draw.
He digs it back to Johansson on the left point. He was bothered, couldn't get a good pass away. McInnes to Larmer. Give it in front to Sandstrom, going in alone, and Ranford turns him away. Coffey came in late to help out in a big way. And it's still 4-0. with 4 minutes left. Dollar. Turned around by Larmer. McInnes takes over. He's in a hand off Coffey. Coffey and Gretzky stop short of a collision. Gretzky heading for the Team Canada bench. Boreas Salming, for a 40-year-old, had a lot of ice time tonight. Sweden buzzing around. Radford can't find it. Finally cleared off the boards and out of the zone. Soviets won their first game today, and the United States won their second. Looks like Canada and the U.S. will lead the Labatt Canada Cup after 3 games.
Canada has not trailed in the tournament. This is their 3rd game. They have yet to trail in a game.
Canada will have 5 points. The U.S. 4. They try to set Lindros up, and it goes way up. In among the spectators with 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. There are not many teenagers who can come on at this level and make the kind of impact in just a handful of games Eric Lindros has.
How about the Prime Minister comments? I mean, here's a kid that's 18 years of age. I saw a clip of the Prime Minister suggesting that maybe you ought to look at the Quebec situation. There's a lot of money there available for his services. And the youngster said, hey, listen, the Prime Minister ought to take care of the recession.
In other words, mind your own business.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't want to be audited.
He's quite a youngster. Here he is now losing it at the blue line. Sweden getting a chance. Shot wide by Gothenloff to the far corner. Courtnall goes to the bench along with Stevens. Long lead pass to Yarpenloff at center ice. Howardchuk. Canada check at center ice.
See the better checking by the Canadians in the neutral zone. That was not there in the 2nd period.
That was Edstrom getting taken down in front, just cleared in time. A little over 2 minutes to go. Forsland now. He shoots. He scores. Finally, they beat Ranford. He loses his shutout with 2:01 to go.
And Ranford with a little show of disgust. 2 minutes, 1 second away from the shutout. Forsland's a left-handed shot. He was able to skate across the top of the circle with the puck. Therefore, he's on his shooting side, his forehand side. Watch him move right across and just snap it. Screen set up. As Desjardins tried to block the puck, but couldn't. And right now we have a nice round of applause from the fans here in Toronto saluting Joe Ranford for his fine performance in this game. Good shot by Forsland through the screen.
The 35th Swedish shot finally beat him. 4-1 Canada, 2 minutes to go. Johansson beating Corson to it and shooting it down the ice. This will be an icing call against Sweden with 1:46 to go. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. As Tommy Soderstrom huddling in his net. 1:46 remaining, and his team Sweden trails Team Canada 4-1. Sutter on the draw for Canada wins it. Takes it back for McInnes, right point. His shot deflected by Soderstrom off the backboard. In front, Corson shot wide. Graham with it. Corson in behind the net. Left for Sandstrom. He rolls it inside the Team Canada zone. 1:25 to go. There's something both teams will take from this game by way of satisfaction. The way Team Canada scored, especially shorthanded early, the way Ranford held Sweden at bay, and for the Swedish team, the way they did not lose heart and came back. Sutter now gets turned around, and Mats Naslund has it. 1 minute to play in the hockey game. Sandstrom shot blocked to the blue line. Sweden changing on the fly.
Scott Stevens, and I think I must be Thomas Sandstrom in there. It has to be. Yes, it is. They were at each other earlier in the game. Stevens knows he can't fight, so he tried to throw a couple of punches with his gloves on, even though he's lost his right one here. Scotty Stevens obviously picking the proper time to try and get at Tomas Sandstrom if he's going to. And that's with 45 seconds remaining and a 4-1 lead.
He'll retire early.
Scott Stevens has been through a lot the last couple of days. St. Louis gambled, St. Louis lost, and St. Louis is paying. And Scott Stevens is going to have to move.
Well, he's the one who's paying the price personally. So a little frustration showing there. And Sandstrom isn't exactly a happy camper either. Well, Bill Ranford has stolen the show tonight, and he got a lot of help from Wayne Gretzky as the dominant players of Team Canada. And this is the third game for them in the Labatt Canada Cup. Gretzky's playmaking and Ranford's goaltending. Eric Lindros has drawn attention to the fact that the teenager is more than ready for the professional game.
Another thing to mention, too, is the play, once again, of the Canadian special teams. The game against the Americans, the game here, their special teams, in particular, the penalty killing, has been on top.
So Stevens and Sandstrom get an early shower with 45 seconds to go.
Ulf Samuelsson, I think, is sitting down at the end of the Swedish bench, and I don't know if he's seen too much ice since he was hit by Lindros. It appeared to be either a shoulder problem or bumped his head as he was pasted into the glass. He did, it appear, right after have an ice pack towards his right shoulder. He's a competitor, a very strong player, physically the strongest player on that team, but Eric Lindros, with his size, caught him pretty good.
Börje Salming, perhaps in a farewell appearance in Maple Leaf Gardens, brings it forward for Team Sweden with 30 seconds remaining in the hockey game. Calle Johansson as Ranford comes out of the net. Can't pick it up in behind. One more attack for Canada, spearheaded by Messier with Gretzky. Desjardins trailing. Here's Messier circling, trying to find Gretzky and Gretzky at the blue line, brought it out a little too far. Let's whistle down there with 11 seconds to go.
Now, he's creative as the game moves along, and Patty DeBuzzo, the linesman, laughing. Gretzky tried to fake as though he was taking the puck outside the zone and try and pop it back in, just offside. Now Mike Keenan has the task of getting his team prepared for the Czechoslovakian game. A lot of young stars on that team, but not renowned talents. And I think he'll have his work ahead to get that team ready for it.
And that's the next stop on our Canada Cup tour, Saturday night at the Montreal Forum. Canada winning tonight 4-1 over Sweden. Czechoslovakia beaten tonight by the United States. A must-win situation for the Czechs, and Canada, with this win, glides to the top of the Canada Cup standing.
This gives them 5 points, and no team that's ever made 5 points in the prelim round of the Canada Cup has missed the playoffs. So things looking pretty good for this club. It was a sure bet, but at least they're getting there.
This team surely will not be the first to do that.